looking at this, I see something totally different. You don't always see black surfboards. What is this? And another reason, why are we doing it?
Yeah, great question. So this is our ECT, Eco Carbon Tech. Carbon boards have gotten somewhat popular. Black boards, honestly, they look cool. Some people like it, some people don't. But the idea of carbon, it's nothing new in surfboards. But what we've done with this is not a carbon wrap, and it's not a carbon layup.
There's no actual carbon fiberglass.
There's no carbon fiberglass in the hole.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what it is in a moment. But part of the problem with carbon wraps and carbon layups is they create a really, really stiff surfboard, right? It doesn't dent, it feels really stiff, you kind of got to break them in. And in that, it's a bit of a foreign feeling. It's got its place for sure, but it doesn't have a broad place. Yeah. And so what we've done here is we've taken recycled carbon fiber, pulverized it into a powder, and we mix it in the resin. Yeah. So 100% recycled, made into a powder, mixed into the resin, then we lam up normal glass with it, normal wet lam construction. And what it does is it just creates a more resilient flex. So you get that sort of carbon feel without the foreign feel of a full carbon layup or a vacuum bag situation. Yeah. So it feels more like your normal surfboard. It can be PE, PU, yeah, or it can be EPS epoxy.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I mean, so
works
you can
either way.
You can lay it up with a polyester resin and
yep,
a poly blank or an epoxy. And what do you feel like's been the best?
Well, I ride them both. And in fact, this is all I ride is ECTs. Wow. So it just gives your normal board a bit livelier of a feel. Yep. And then we've tested it, and it's 15% stronger compression-wise. Yep. So because it's stronger, you can use less glass. So I use a single layer of 4, which I would never do in the past. I always use a double layer of 4.
You're doing team line.
I'm doing team line, yeah. And the boards hold up, and it just gets a much more lively, springy flex to it. This is all I've ridden for the last year. I don't ride anything but ECTs. There's my ECT, big happy there. So it's a more familiar feeling, but a more lively flex and stronger than your normal construction without some of the liabilities of a full carbon layup. My first thought of it was small waves, which I think is your intuitive thought with carbon. So that's where I started testing it. It was like happy everydays and stuff. And then I found out that it works good on just my normal shortboard. So I'm riding it on my big happy. And then we went to Hawaii and did some step ups in it. And Baron and Imai and the boys found that in Hawaii, it seems to really kind of soak up the bumps, which surprised me. Yeah. Right? I didn't intuit that, but they said like at Sunset, Haleiwa, it tends to sit in the water more stable and soak up the bumps, and so it feels a little more solid in Hawaii. You tried one in a tow board.
Yeah, it soaked up bumps. I want more opportunities. I only got to ride it for one day, but the feel was not foreign, as you were saying. It felt comfortable, so it wasn't like something that was so wild that I couldn't handle it. Right. Which is cool. I mean, and especially since you're trying to get boards that are going to last a little longer, right? Mm-hmm. And that's what you're getting out of this little strength. Yep.
And the other thing is it's cost effective, right? Because it's a normal wet lam. It's not a huge price tag on these boards. It's priced much more closely to your normal PU/PE board that you find on the rack. So therefore, it's more accessible to more people. Yeah. It's not cost prohibitive. It doesn't feel so foreign that now you've got this weird board that you're not sure about all the time, and it's stronger, and they're beautiful.
Yeah, so the guaranteed benefit being is that you're gonna have something that's not foreign feeling, and then also the strength, to what you're purchasing power, right? It's just gonna be a lot stronger support.
And to clarify, like the strength is greater than your normal sort of clear board, not greater than a full carbon, vacuum bag board. Those are incredibly strong. In my mind, they're too strong, right? I don't like surfboards that don't dent. The surfboard should dent a bit. Yeah, you should get a bit of a footwell. And I think that when a board does dent, it somewhat denotes the flex characteristics of that board, which you and I have talked about a ton. Flex is one of the most important things in surfboards.
You're saying that you could actually go lighter. Would someone want to do that, or would they just go to standard glass and they're going to get the extra strength?
Well, so here's what we found. If you go with a normal glass layup that you would 2 layers or standard, whatever it is, it's a little too much glass for having the carbon in the resin. And now the board feels a bit too stiff and it doesn't have that lively feeling.
You almost want to keep it.
So it kind of necessitates that you step down in glass a bit, and that gets that lively feeling but maintains strength.
Yeah. Cool. ECT.
Let's go.